stuck up against the cage and all. So if we look at kind of Jay shooting in into this position, we've got this phase one. Okay, the leg position is really important. Okay, and you probably heard me shout this when I'm sparring and stuff. It's to do with your legs being split. Okay, if my feet and knees are quite close together, this is where it's going to be easy when Jay drops down to start taking my legs and doing all that. So when we shout split, what we're talking about is this. So I kind of put my one hip out and the other hip against the cage, and then I open my legs up nice and wide. Okay, so from this position, whichever side Jason's head is, that's usually the toes that are pointing this way. Okay, across and in parallel to the wall or the cage. The other foot is usually in this position. Some people like this, yeah, so that they can sprint out and stuff, but I don't feel very stable with that at all. Okay, so when we're in this kind of high position, the phase one position, we don't need to worry about the split as much, okay, because he's obviously so high. But when Jay changes his level, that's when I really need to change my feet position into the split. Okay, so if Chase comes away a second, so we're nice and my teapot. I'm nice and high in this position. Okay, he then changes level to go to the legs. I'm gonna split the legs and put my hip against the wall. Okay, we'll talk about the hands in a second, but I just want us to have that trigger. So if Jay comes back, so he's got that high clinch. If he drops, just want us to practice, yeah, just changing our level and also getting into the split position. My feet together. He's just going to grab my knees and I'm just going to whip my legs out. It's really easy to kind of get away with doing that, because even if he's got a really shitty position from here where he drops and he's got his ass out and then he's got lots of pressure here, yeah, even there, like, this is hard to defend if my knees stay together. Yeah, it's really difficult to do much, and he's got a really decent amount of out of the way. And yeah, just whip my legs out. His head position as well, it's at L'Oreal, so his head's driving me that way and he's whipping my legs that way, so it just makes it really easy. So when he gets into this kind of position, I always want to use this overhook. It doesn't feel very effective, but it's better than this. This does nothing. This is not controlling anything. This is getting ready for a tea dance. That's all we're doing. Yeah, we want that nice little dance. That's the only time it's acceptable to do anything like that, okay? When you've both agreed as well that you're going to dance. Okay, so this overhook's always working, okay? And it's always active as well, okay? So it doesn't matter whether I'm applying pressure with my shoulder or I'm lifting, it's always active, okay? So the other hand is probably, you know, controlling my wrist, but at this point it's not as important when we're high, but when we drop and he drops to start attacking my legs, I need to make sure he can't grab this leg. Okay, because his next easiest takedown from this position, even if I split, is to grab my ankle and pull my ankle out. Okay, there. To start pulling my ankle out, okay? So the first part of the split, so he goes, changes level, prevents that ability to do that big double leg or just take my leg down. The second part is defend this leg, okay? I cannot let him get his hand on my ankle. So as soon as we're here, this is still active and lifting, okay? I'm not letting him grab my ankle. If he grabs it, I pull up, and again, because this is active, I can lift him up as well, okay? So we're just gonna practice that, yeah? So into a split, get this active overhook straight away. See how that feels different, okay? So it's tight. As soon as it starts going down, I split, defend this leg. Because this is active, it's going to be really hard for him to go down and drop to the knee. Okay, so it's just this one we really need to defend for now. Okay, let's give it a go. 1, 2, 3. But if someone splits and starts taking this leg out, there are opportunities for trips and stuff in this position. So like, as long as your knees are nice and tight, and he's still got his head in at this point as well. It's one of those where he can start looking to trip and stuff. But we'll look at that next week, kind of going back. So one of the things which can be a bit of a challenge is beating the hand to the ankle. So when he drops, that can feel like a real problem. Now, as a taller fighter, you're always going to have a bit of a problem when you go with someone shorter, because they're always in a position where their hips are lower. Yeah, because like height-wise, so I can get my hips quite low. My hips are up here, that's going to be much easier for Jason to start grabbing my knee and pull my knee out and stuff. So I still do this, so as Jay drops down and I don't feel like I'm winning this wrist control battle, I'm going to go to an underhook instead. So I'm still actively working here, but I'm going to look to get my underhook, okay? It's one of those where, you know, people ask why don't you just go straight to an underhook? And you have to kind of take a bit of a risk and kind of think like what's going to work better. Is it defending my ankle, or is it just hitting my underhook because I can't get low enough, I can't beat into my ankle? And I think you just end up developing kind of your game plan from this position. So as soon as he changes his level, with Jay, because I can drop my level lower than Jay, I feel pretty comfortable just hand fighting from this position. Someone who's a bit shorter though, yeah, so I'm going to focus on getting my underhook instead. Okay, it does mean that my split's not as good, because to get the underhook I have to turn in, but then as I lift up, if I feel like I've got that underhook, I split to the other side so that I can then start stepping around and turning. Okay, so this is how we're going to do the drill now. So Jay gets his position, yeah, he changes his level, I still change my level, I don't stay up straight. Yeah, I'm going to hit my underhook and change my split, and then look to turn them onto the back. It doesn't have to be a big impact every time, but that underhook working and still having that active overhook is really important. Okay, so we have Jay, yeah, there, hit my split, underhook, yeah, active overhook, round, and I'm making sure this hand stays nice and high. Looking to pull down now, so my active overhook becomes a little bit of a pull to get that turn, and then I reset into my position for takedown. Like this.
On your feet, you're looking kind of looking for what you're doing.
It probably makes more sense if someone's here. So it's the underhook that's really going to help. So he drops, yeah, there, and then it's that pull. So you see how my active overhook is pulling, and this hand is high-fiving the wall. Yeah, so having that hand super high really helps. And this is where we don't go back to the T-dance, okay? So just because I'm not T-dancing this side doesn't mean I T-dance this side, okay? Because that is now a good overhook for Jason, okay? So as soon as he changes level, drop, underhook, yeah, so it's like I'm punching, okay? Drop this, and then down, and now I'm already in a good position because his knees are together, so I've beat him to the split. Make sense?
Yeah.
Give it a go. 1, 2, 3.